Hi there, Steph. Thanks for popping by. So, I was planning on doing a podcast with that episode, and then I've decided to do a video version for YouTube because some people like videos, and I will do just an audio version for podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple platform, all the podcast platform. But you will find me there as just us, locked and down. Not Steph made it for you because I created it during lockdown, and I've been trying to change the name, and I've not managed to do that yet. So just us, locked and down on the podcast platform, and Steph made it for you on YouTube and Instagram. And please feel free to register as well. So today I want to talk to you a bit about my Christmas plans. I have a few things. So I want to tell you about my wish list, Christmas wish list. I want to tell you about how we're trying to keep, and I say we, but really it's just me. Chris is just there as a passenger rather than a driver. He's quite chilled about everything, but how I'm keeping it from getting too expensive basically. And I've decided to do something a bit silly. What I would ask for Christmas if money was not a problem. And I'm assuming we all will have very different answers to that question, but I will tell you what my answers are. So in terms of wish list, I'm just looking at Amazon. I don't have much actually. I've cleared loads of stuff off my wish list. I had a lot of resin making items on my wish list, and I had to take them off because doing resin in winter in the UK is really difficult because of the cold and the moisture. Resin does not like moisture, and as you know, gas has gone really expensive, so it's actually surprisingly warm in the office right now, but we've been here all day. But the rest of the house is pretty cold, and resin doesn't like cold. It needs 21 degree temperature, so if it goes below, it doesn't like it. So I had to take all of that off, so my list is actually quite brief compared to what it's been the previous years. So on there I have a microphone for podcasts. So I do have a mic for podcast up there, but I found that the sound wasn't great. So right now I'm recording the sound on the webcam. So I put a mic on my list. I have an air mask. That's very girly. I have it. Oh, that looks really cool. I think it's really expensive for what it is, but I've seen it on some people's Instagram, I think, and it looks really cool. It's like it's a roll thing you unroll, and like there's little, what is it called? Little bits of metal. I'll put a link in the description so you can see it. I've not tried it, but the reviews are good. So I'm not recommending it because I tried it, but I'm recommending it because I want one and I think it'd be useful to a lot of people out there. And you basically put it on the top of your sink. So we got a double sink, and you put it on one side, and when you rinse your veg, you put it on top, and then it drips down in the sink and not all over the counter, or you don't have to soak a tea towel. And it's one of those things that I think it's expensive for what it is, but I think it will make my life so much easier. So that's on my list. And then there's I found that I was just browsing on Amazon a few months ago, and I found that it's cable ties, but it's not the one you zip in and you pull. It's a magnetic at the end. So like you have the tie. I'll put the link. And it's two magnetic bits, and you can twirl it around your cables and then lock it in place with the magnet, and then you can reuse it. And it's a pack of 16, so it's quite a few. It's for what it is. Again, it feels really expensive, but I think it will make my life so much easier. And there's one thing I've seen in someone's video. If I keep touching my nose, it's because I get a cold and I keep sneezing. Not now, but I was sneezing earlier. It's a box for cables. My desk, I've managed to kind of move the cables a bit on the side because I moved the laptop on the side. But I have like cables everywhere, and apparently there's a box you get and you put your cables. So you still have the box out there, but the cables are in the box, and like, you know, like the big charger on the computer power lead. You put that in the box. There's enough air that it doesn't get too hot, but you don't have all the stuff all over your desk. So I should add that on my list as well. And the last thing that I put on my list, but Chris bought it because I said I want that. It's a tiny, tiny desk hoover. And you just, with resin, I have bits of resin, dust, metal, like earring findings all over my desk. So he bought me this little tiny hoover, and you just hoover on your desk, and it's rechargeable as well. So you don't have to put batteries, you just plug it in and recharge. And that's something I've really tried to do, to not necessarily save money, because I don't know if it saves money, because, well, you buy less battery, I guess, but to stop using small batteries is to buy things that you can recharge. Or I do buy rechargeable batteries, but the problem is that they never recharge when you need them. So that's the only downside to them. But I still think they're handy. So that is my list, and that's it. Everything else, I did buy stuff for myself already, but all I bought was clothes. And I bought everything, no, not everything, sorry. I bought a lot from Vinted. And what I didn't buy from Vinted, I bought from Sainsbury's 50% off. So I was quite pleased with myself. And if you're wondering why I'm buying my own Christmas presents, it's because family from France sends us money because it's not worth sending things over. And now sending things into England or out of England is really difficult because you have to fill like a custom form. And I did it once and I just couldn't find a category for the item. It's really hard. There's stuff online, but like on different websites, they tell you different things. I find it really confusing. So anyway, so the way that we're keeping Christmas cheap, and I'm going to put a caveat on cheap because cheap is not the same for everyone, and that's fair enough. Cheaper for us. Previously, I'd spend about £1,000 for that time of the year. The reason is we have 3 birthdays and 4 Christmas. So Chris is only a Christmas. It's only Christmas for Chris, and for the kids and me, it's birthdays and Christmas. So December is particularly expensive. I don't even. I'm on some group on Facebook and stuff, and I feel quite okay with the amount I spend because I've seen people spend like 200 quid per kid just for Christmas, and you know, if you get the money, it's brilliant. But I've not gone to this length yet. Maybe as they get older, it'll be a different story. But they're still little. Liv is 8, or it's going to be 8. James is going to be 11, so I can still get away with it. And we get money from family in France, so they send money, and then I buy things in England for the kids. So I start Christmas shopping generally in October. This year I started. I dabbled in October. I did a bit. If you buy stuff off Vinted, you kind of need to plan ahead because it takes about 5 to 7 days to, you know, by the time someone posted it and it gets to you, 5 to 7 days. And then if you don't like it and you need to order something, you have another week on top of that. So I do tend to start early. And in my mind, Christmas is organized by the end of November. And it's always the 23rd of November. So just to give you an idea, it's not that far. And we're only 4 weeks, well, 4.5 weeks away from Christmas. It's gone really, really quickly. So how did I keep it cheaper for Christmas this year? So, I've shrunk our budget. It's the easiest way is to shrink. So I have a little spreadsheet and I put how much, I put a budget for all of us. So for me, for the kids, for Chris, and for every family member, we buy a present too. So we don't do presents for all the family because there's people we don't see very often. And there's also grown-ups we don't buy presents to because we're grown-ups and we can get away with buying presents for everyone. We're just trying to focus on the kids. So this year I've shrunk the budget for Chris and... Was it Chris and me? No, just me. A little bit for me because I have birthday and Christmas. I've talked to friends and family. It was a bit of an awkward conversation, but I think you can kind of get a feel if the person you're talking to, like you're thinking about talking to, is the right person to suggest that. To people who we exchange money. So for example, I have a friend's birthday and I normally send a voucher. And then for my birthday, she will send me a voucher. And it's lovely. But I think this year, everything feels so tight. Instead of just sending each other a voucher, I just suggested that we don't do it. Or instead of me sending money for little nieces and nephew, and then they send us money for our children, I suggested that this year we skip it. So it just makes it I think personally, I think it takes the pressure off. A few years back, we had friends, we used to do presents for Christmas, presents for birthday, but most of the kids were born between December and January. It became really expensive really quickly. And it's, you know, it's only 20 quid here and 20 quid there, but I think it adds up pretty quickly. So if there's someone I felt I could have that awkward conversation with, I did that this year. And I think I'll stop on, my last words on that will be Christmas is every year, and My mum will say I'm being cheap. She's told me I was being cheap, but I do think we should get in debt for Christmas. And I'm going to talk about it from an, non-religious perspective. Christmas is about spending time with family, and yeah, getting into debt is not worth it. So let's just enjoy each other's company. I think that's what we should focus on. However, on this note, if money was not an issue, these are the things that I would love to have. I would love an electric car that has 300 miles battery capacity. How do we say it? Not battery power. A car that can take me from where I live to France without having to stop every 100 miles for a fast charge. And I would like my electric car to be teal. And Chris laughed. He was like, no, not teal again. And I love teal. So I wanted teal, please. If money wasn't an issue, I would like to have a brand new drive in front of my house. Because ours has not been done well and it's sinking into the ground in places and it's not great. And that's it. It's not it. It is not, obviously, it's not. I'm talking about ridiculous dreams here, but I think it's quite a funny exercise. What more would I want if money was an option? I mean, there's loads of things, I would like to invest money. I would like to pay off my mortgage, but I'm just trying to think of like things rather than investment and mortgages. It's a bit more than that. But if you do that exercise and kind of think, okay, what would I want for Christmas if money wasn't an option? I mean, I'd like to go on holiday. We've been talking about going to Japan. Actually, I will add Japan onto the list. I don't know why I want to go to Japan. I don't eat fish, but I do like vegetarian sushi and maki, so I would go to Japan. And I love that garden. It looks beautiful. And the sakura season as well apparently is beautiful. I've only seen it on TV, but it looks lovely. So yeah, I probably would go to Japan. It's a bit far as well. We looked at the flag just for fun, and it's a bit far, but it looks quite nice. So yeah, I hope you found that video a little bit entertaining. If you have any guilt about Christmas, don't, because Christmas is about having a good time. And put in the comment section, I'd love to know if money wasn't an issue. But sorry, I say option, I mean issue. If money wasn't an issue, what would you like to have for Christmas? I hope you have a lovely rest of the week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.